I was I was talking a short time ago with a chap who didn't like taxation, and he claimed that, as others have claimed many times before, that taxation was taking things by force, by a government-held gun or something. And I happened to run across a quotation by James Madison before the or during the drafting of the American Constitution. And he quoted there that there never was a government without force. What is the meaning of government? An institution to make people do their duty. A government leaving it to the man to do his duty or not, as he pleases, would be a new species of government, or rather, no government at all. And the person I was debating with claimed that donations, that one should donate to support their society. And I quoted to him a quoting that I liked that the trouble with you socialists, although he was a libertarian, and I guess it applies to bureaucrats and many other kind of people. The trouble with you people, with you socialists or libertarians or whatever, is that you see people as you wish they were rather than as they really are. You wish they were all nice enough to pay for their society, the cost of running their society, with donations. And the bureaucrats would like to have everybody all the same so they could design a program that covered all the people all the time. They can't do that. People are different, and people are they're good and they're bad and they're you know the voters will vote in politicians by being promised things that, what they're being promised is really their own money. They're being promised great things will be paid to you if you elect me, and so on. People take whatever they can get, and it seems to be uh, a normal thing about people. We're all different, of course. Some people are very concerned about not taking more than their share. But in the case of this libertarian or these libertarians or whatever, they somehow don't think they should pay taxes. The trouble is that they're paying the wrong taxes. They're paying a tax on their work, on their creation, on their income. That's not where government should look for its taxes. It should look to tax things that harm the society or harm individuals in the society. Uh, I just saw an article the other day about sugar and how government is requiring now that the quantity of sugar in products must be shown and indicated whether. And because sugar is causing so much health problem in the country, that sugar is something they should be taxing because that's harming individuals. It's causing obesity and it's causing diabetes and many problems with health. They should be taxing that. And I've said that they should be taxing consumption, what people take from society, the wealth that they consume rather than the wealth they create. And it would be a much simpler tax. But there are other taxes that government should look at that harm the society or the people or don't do it any good. One that some action that doesn't do people any good is this speculation in the stock market in secondary securities that add nothing to the value of the economy. Those transactions are like lottery transactions. people buy it, and it doesn't serve anybody else except the people involved in the transaction. And it's the same with the trading of securities. And there are other things. The imports, I've spoken about that, of course, many times, which is the imports that we bring into Canada don't bear the cost of society that is borne by the goods that are manufactured, the goods and services that are carried out by our own people. Those goods and services produced in Canada have a cost of society of about 35% of the cost of the goods we produce. But those things brought in uh, as imports, they don't have any of that tax on it. So our manufacturers could hardly be expected to compete with imported goods if they're paying an extra 30% more than the imported goods are. They're taking jobs away from our workers with really ridiculous taxation policies that would let those goods come in without paying the same amount of costs of society as goods produced in our own country. So anyway, this chap who didn't think he should pay any taxes, that was uh, taking it by force. But how else is our society going to get it? Because we know that people won't volunteer, although he claims he would volunteer. Yes, he'd make donations and so on, but would he actually pay his share? Or would he assume that he should have an equal share? He might be making a lot of money and think he should pay an equal share of the cost of society with a guy who's making a lot less money and getting a lot less back out of being in a society. Anyway, it's just I thought an interesting comment, and the very fact, and I agree with it, that government has to use some force. Now, that's what we have them for. They're supposed to be there doing things for the people, but they can't do them for themselves. And we can't go to our neighbor next door and say, we want you to pay into the costs of our society, and we want you to help pay for our roads and the Social Security and all of these things and the protection and our military forces and so on. I don't think our next door neighbor would pay very much just on a gift basis. I think government has to provide taxes, but they should provide taxes that are good for society, good for the individuals, and not harmful to our economy.